Call of Duty Zombies has been a big part of my life, as I'd imagine it has with many other people. I've always wanted to do Zombies YouTube since I was very young, with the likes of Mr. T Lexify, The Smith Plays, Christian R87, and The Relaxing End. They were YouTubers I'd watch when I was very young, and they really inspired me to finally, at 21 years old, start making Zombies YouTube videos instead of just playing it and do nothing with it. Call of Duty has created some amazing maps, especially Treyarch, with the likes of Origins, Drak, Gorod Krovi, and I'd put Buried up there as well. And even non-Treyarch companies have made maps like Zombies in Spaceland and The Final Reich. But not all maps have been held in such high regards, especially I'd say since 2018 onwards. The quality of Zombies maps has really diminished. Although I will say that I didn't mind them in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I thought they were okay. But there is one map which stands above the rest for just being outright unplayable, unfair, and just an absolute atrocity. Realistically, this should not come as a surprise to any zombie player, but there is not a single good thing or positive thing I can say about this map. Infection, better known to everyone as Burger Town, was the second map in Advanced Warfare which was released with the Ascendance DLC. I'll be honest, I have no idea how it was received at launch, because at the time I was, 12 years old, and I didn't even play Advanced Warfare until 2021. I was too busy playing Black Ops 2, which was, in my opinion, a top 3 COD game. But I sure know that this map did not age well at all. I have never enjoyed playing this map. I'm not a massive fan of Exo Zombies at all. In fact, I genuinely think Exo Zombies is the worst iteration of zombies we have ever received. I'll make a video on this in future, why I think this is the case. But for now, let's dive into this shithole and go into detail on why Infection is the worst zombies map of all time. The design and the layout of this map is absolutely awful, and the colours are hideous, especially in the sewer area of this map. Speaking of areas, this map consists of 5 main areas: the spawn, the vault, Atlas Command, Burger Town, and the sewers. I guess you could also count the room behind the waterfall. The spawn has very little reason to return there, aside from picking up Exomedic and doing 2 Easter egg steps, which require about 5 seconds of your time. The same can be said about the Atlas Command area, with slightly more time spent there. You'll be spending most of your time in this map in the Burger Town area, as it's the only decent area of this map, while visiting the vault every now and then to do a few things, and the sewers to traverse the different areas of the map. I don't know why, but the maps sound like they're named after Fortnite areas. The Vault, Atlas Command, and Burger Town consists of one building which you can enter and jump on top of, with one perk, a 3D printer, and an upgrade station, as well as a survivor spawn. They're decently spacious areas, which I will give it credit to Infection. I feel like it really accommodates the exo movement of this game a lot better than what the other maps do, and it's utilised in basically every single area of this map. But this is the only positive point I can make about this map. The colours are dreadful. The sewer is genuinely the ugliest area I have ever seen in a zombies map. It is incredibly dark, with just grey and little tiny bits of very bright green in some corners, and it makes the valve step a lot harder than it needs to be. The spawn and vault are very grey as well, with slightly bits of orange sprinkled here and there. And the Atlas Command is the exact same, but with bits of red. The Burger Town area is the only area that looks somewhat okay, as it has a large amount of orange in it from the dawn or dusk of sky setting, but it's still not great looking. In the early rounds, Infection actually plays like any other zombies map. Shoot a zombie 5 times, followed by melee to build some points, buy a gun, build more points, open up the map, turn on the many different powers in the map. It's not until around round 9 or 10 that changes. Because the infection rounds are back from Outbreak, and I feel like they are a lot worse in this map. Because they force you to go into this area, which I call the basement. It's this pretty big room full of absolutely nothing. It is quite dark as well, and it's just got a pad in the middle. And the zombies will spawn from within pipes or just jump down from above. And unless you stay in the Burger Town area or something, you're going to get hit. So I usually just stay down there with the Cell 3 cauterizer and all that. But it makes the map just more unbearable to play. But we have a new objective, 2 new objectives. We have the survivor rounds. So in the main areas, at a random round, a survivor will spawn. The round prior to that, it will be announced over like an intercom that they found a survivor and it needs to be escorted, whatever, right? I genuinely have never ever liked escort missions, whether it be in Outbreak, whether it be in Vanguard, whether it be in Modern Warfare 3 zombies. I've never liked escort missions in zombies. They're my least favourite thing. But now we have to escort a survivor to a flare that is in a random location, usually on top of like a building or on top of the little shelves in the spawn, right? The problem is that this survivor usually takes the most inconvenient route and moves quite slowly, and he is being, or she is being absolutely ambushed by the exo zombies and the EMZs. So it makes it quite challenging to actually protect him. Usually if you throw a nano swarm down or a distractor drone, you can kind of accomplish it. And when you do it, you are rewarded with a single upgrade level to your weapon, which is applied at the end of the round. So, and a full reload. So you get pretty much 2,500 points worth of a reward, which is pretty underwhelming. But the punishment is that every single power source in the map is turned off for a certain amount of time, and this time increases the more survivor rounds you fail. Oh, and also you get an EMP to your exosuit. In what world was this a good idea? Because upgrading your gun in Exo Zombies is already quite expensive. It takes 25,000 points just to fully upgrade one weapon, and you don't really notice too much of a difference aside from a camo and a few attachments and probably some sort of damage boost. But it kind of railroads you into taking this survivor and wasting all of your ammo, wasting all of your grenades to protect him. Luckily, I find that the survivors actually have a decent amount of health, so they can withstand quite a few hits. But the sheer amount of EMZs that just come and smack your exosuit and disable it, like, I've gone down quite a few times trying to protect him. So in the end, sometimes it's just not worth protecting. So because all you really receive is like a massive inconvenience. So it's just a real inconvenience, I find. Infection also introduces a new map event. In the Vault, Atlas Command, and Burger Town, they have it's kind of like a little seal on the floor. And every so rounds or whatever, I don't know how many rounds, either 1, 2, or all 3 of these seals will release the Manticore gas from the campaign. And this will make the areas infected. So if you stay in this area, you will become infected. You need to go onto that cleaning pad, whatever it's called. So it pretty much locks off certain areas of the map of which you can play. And if all 3 of them are locked off, you are confined to the sewer. This map forces you and makes you stick in areas that you don't want to go to. And especially the sewer, which is, in my opinion, the worst area of the map. It is quite difficult to hoard within the sewer. Like, the alligator trap really does very, very little to actually help you. Wow, an Australian calling a crocodile an alligator. But it's just another inconvenience which really, really kills the flow of the gameplay. I remember doing the Easter egg for this map, and I was on the final step where I had to scan the hand on the key card, and the round I got the hand from the crocodile, there was a the gas was released in the Atlas command and the vault, meaning I could not go to the spawn unless I wanted to risk going downed, and I was on my final exomedic, so I just didn't bother. And then the round after that, I had an infection round, so I had to wait a whole 2 rounds in the 20s just to go, which is, you know, really, really inconvenient, and it just kills the flow of the gameplay, and it's just really, really tedious and not fun at all. Now, if you thought the EMZs were bad enough, this map introduces a new zombie, or zombie boss, the Goliath. The Goliath is a boss zombie which spawns every 4 to 6 rounds or so. I don't know what round it first spawns, but that's irrelevant. This zombie is equipped with a massive shield, and for some reason, some makeshift hammer, I don't know, looks like a parking meter. It has 3 attacks. It's got a melee attack, a stomp attack, and a ranged attack. Nothing special, right? Except this ranged attack is a missile when, if it hits you, it's got the same EMZ effect. The stomp is an AoE EMP effect, and the melee is just a normal melee, to my knowledge. You couldn't make this up. You could not make this up. It's like, you know what? The EMZs on this map are much worse than Outbreak. Let's introduce a boss that not only has the exact same attacks, but he is tanky, and he is quite fast as well. It's like I think with Exo health, it's about 3 hit down, but I've never died to him. But he's just another major inconvenience, and I've found that with enough spam from the Cell 3 Cauterizer, you can take care of him quite efficiently, and I don't know, maybe a few contact grenades in there. But he's not weak. He is quite strong and literally quite fast as well. And every 3 seconds, you're rebooting your exosuit because he just happens to send a missile at you when you jump away. And it's just, why? Why was this a good idea? Like, don't get me wrong, there are much worse zombie bosses. Like, you got the Stormkriegers, you got the Mercs. But this is just another inconvenience that really just did not need to exist. Like, given, he looks cool. It's this big freakish zombie in a Goliath suit. God, can't speak English. But that's just all ruined by just the EMP ability. Like, move on. Let's talk about the main quest. Infection features a main quest in which, upon completion, unlocks the trophy titled Meat is Murder. This Easter egg wasn't inherently difficult to complete, but it wasn't a fun one either. If anything, it was actually more of a goofy main quest. So the first step has you turning 4 valves in the sewer, which it's a fine step. It's just there's a lot of spawns, as there is for steps coming up. And the sewer, it is quite hard to see some of these valves, but it's doable. This will unlock a room which has an altar, and after unlocking this, turning all 4 valves, you'll need to go into the spawn and exo jump to get this golden pan. You need to return to this new room and place the golden pan in the altar, right in the middle. And you need to get, I don't know how many kills, but it's quite a few zombie kills within this circular area until the blood rises and the pan should sink into the floor. You need to pick up the pan and bring it back to Burger Town. Once you do this, you need to find one piece of meat in 4 different areas: Burger Town, the Atlas Command, the Vault, and the Sewer. Now, there are quite a few spawns for this meat, so, I'd keep one zombie at the end of a round to have a look for this. It's not inherently difficult to find this meat either, but it can get quite annoying, especially in the sewer area, but usually I find it without that much of a problem. Just note, when you find one, you can only hold one at a time, so you have to go find it, pick it up, put it in the pan, and then repeat 4 times. Then make sure you hit the 3D printer, because you will need the new weapon, the Magnetron, which, I will be honest, it's not a fantastic weapon. Due to Advanced Warfare having absolutely awful weapon balance, this weapon gets very weak quite quickly, but don't worry, you only need it for 1 step. Once you've collected all the meat from the different areas, put it in the fry pan, you got to shoot it until it cooks it, and you'll know you've cooked it, you'll hear a little ding. And then after this, you have to kill a zombie that's wearing a Burger Town employee uniform. That will drop a burger bun. Once you kill one and it drops it, pick it up and bring it back to the burger. And then you interact with the fry pan again once you've placed the burger, and you'll become infected, which is very convenient. You just got to run down to the decontamination pad and just decontaminate yourself. Not a massive issue, but again, just a bit annoying. After this, for some weird reason, you have to give the burger to Bubby, and you'll head to the Atlas Command area. There's a Bubby schematic in one of the buildings. You got to interact with it, and then run over to the next building within the same area and pick up a battery. This is quite similar to the fuse step in Alpha Omega, where you have to teleport and then run and pick up a fuse. You got to place this battery into a charging station, which is located in the servo in the Value Vault. You just got to protect it until it charges up. It's not, again, some of these steps are they're not bad steps, they're just very weird in the sense like you're picking up meat. I don't know, you're building a burger. It's just a weird thing, really. Once you've charged up this battery, you got to give it to Bubby. He'll give you a set of keys, and you got to go up into the burger in Burger Town, and then you'll see a massive missile hidden in the tower. You got to again interact with another Bubby schematic, and it should say access denied. Once you do this, you got to go down to the sewers, and you got to activate the crocodile trap. As it rises to eat a zombie, you got to shoot the crocodile, and it will drop a zombie arm. You pick up this arm, go upstairs into the spawn room, and there should be a keypad or a fingerprint scanner, sorry. Once you hold square on this fingerprint scanner, a safe will open, and you'll pick up a tablet from this safe. You'll go back to the burger on the top of the tower and interact with the schematic that just said access denied. You'll be kicked out, and a countdown will happen, and the rocket from inside the tower will launch. After this is done, you'll return into the burger, give Bubby the tablet, and that's it. You've done the Easter egg, and you'll start fighting some zombies for a bit. Again, the only step I found inherently difficult was the step where you gotta kill zombies on the grate in the new area, because it can get pretty hectic very quickly. So you'll need like swarm grenades, or you'll need like the distractor drone, because I have downed quite a few times doing that step, and you do need to go through quite a few rounds. It's just, with this Easter egg, the forced objectives of having to escort survivors really make it a lot harder than what it needs to be. And in Exo Zombies, you can't really hold zombies for that long, because they do die out quite quickly and the next round will come. And it just adds layers of stress that are really not needed. Like, I don't think the main quests in Advanced Warfare are very good. This one is it's just okay. That's really all I have to say about it. Like, the steps are fine. They're just weird and goofy, if anything. They're not inherently bad, but it comes to another Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies problem, where you're just passing heaps of rounds to do these steps. Especially, like, finding the meat. Not finding the meat, even. finding the burger buns can take a few rounds. I think it took me about 3 rounds for it to drop, and you could get it done so much quicker if the mechanics of the game were a little better, but that's another video for a different day. Yeah, that's really about it for the Easter egg. It's just an goofy Easter egg that's just not fun. And that's it. This is my first ever video. It did take a lot longer and a lot more effort to make than what I realized, and that truly was a learning curve for me, because I never realized how much effort actually goes into making videos like this. And, you know, I learned a lot of things, especially about editing, considering I used iMovie on my iPhone to make this, when in reality there are a lot better options, but you learn it along the way. It took a lot of exporting stuff from the PlayStation app, which really, that's probably why it took so long, and writing a script for this as well, which was about 6 pages on a A5 book. A5, yeah. But I hope you do enjoyed it. Please do leave a comment suggesting like improvements to make on this video and for future videos, because I do want to learn quite a bit more about this. And also leave your thoughts on the actual map. I'd love to hear what you think. And I hope you watch another video of mine that's coming out soon. Thanks.